Hey there, just going to quickly teach some tech about the zero boxes in Urjo. Okay, so the first rule about zero boxes in Urjo is that if it's directly against a wall, you can just put the inverse zero box right beside it, like this. The next option is when it is one away from the wall, like this, and in this case you can fill it in with a triple of the opposite color. And for this final option, there are actually two ways it can look. It can look like this with the U shape pointing outwards, or like this with the U shape pointing inwards. So from here, technically any puzzle that is 6 by 6 and has a full zero box will be a combination of these three rules. I'll quickly do some example puzzles. In this puzzle, the zero box is on the wall on both sides, which means on either side there are three spaces, which means the opposite zero box has to go in both of those spaces. Of course, this rule also works for the one we just filled in, so we could instead fill in this one below it first rather than the one below the other one. And then finally, we can fill in the final zero box to create the very satisfying looking flower pattern, as I've heard some people call it. Here is a second example puzzle. It's one away from the wall on this side, so we can fill in that triple and then also fill in the blue triple that makes. Below it, we can see there's room for another zero box, so we can instantly just fill that in too. As I mentioned before, there are only two ways that this double can be, and because of the blue's position there, it gives us what it must be, which also in turn gives us the one below. As you notice, the U's sort of face the same way. Both of these ones face outside, and if it was the other way around, both of them would face inside. Now, to prove some of these, you might be wondering, why can't it be like this? Well, if it is like this, you have to put reds here, and reds there, which means these two rows here are going to be identical, which breaks the third rule. As you can also see, this is the only one you can change, because otherwise you will break the triple rule immediately. As you can see, this also immediately proves the other side. The reason for this is because the triples lock everything else in place, and that blue only has two positions it can be in. And now finally, to prove that there has to be a zero box below a zero box, it's pretty easy. You just have to fill in the triples first. And now there's only one red left, so it either has to be in one of these three slots. If you put it here, then the bottom two rows are going to be identical, so you can't put it there. If you put it at the bottom, then the two rows above it become identical, so you can't put it there. So the only place it can go is in the middle, which makes it another zero box. Alright, there you go. Now there's zero tech. Bye.